Okay, my name is Nikki Maritz and I will be your host today. I'm the CEO of IBTC, and IBTC is really the leading tuition provider in this space, and we are well known for our remarkable pass rates. Tonight is the second day of our webinar series for all you newbies, and we're going to look at how to register on the new website. So we can start off with some background. As I mentioned on Saturday, CIMA and AICPA. I hope you all joined on Saturday. If you didn't, that is fine. Then, okay, so on Saturday, we spoke about how CIMA and AICPA joined forces to promote CGMA as the world's most in-demand professional designation for business. And this year, they wanted to reimagine their value proposition and their members' experience. And to that end, they've developed one backend system that will serve both the AICPA and CIMA. It's called RAVE. And RAVE, coincidentally, if you ever get this in the exams, is for reimagine the value for the value experience. Okay, so CIMA and AICPA got a new backend system called RAVE. They got a new website that would then serve both their needs, and they launched FLP as a new fast-track route to the CGMA designation. This may, from our perspective, we know a lot about CIMA, and we've been dealing it for years now. It may have left us with a website that we feel is rather tricky to navigate. Maybe it's just because it's new, and there's a system that's currently experiencing data migration problems. So everybody in this sphere, we feel very frustrated at this point. A lot of students have been asking us to help them navigate the website. And myself, I love simplifying complex information. So we've put the session together to show you how to register and apply for exemptions when you register for the very first time. Before we kick off, just a note on data migration. All the data didn't migrate properly on the CIMA site. So if you're an existing student, you may find that some of your data didn't migrate. And what you need to do is you need to contact CIMA with your old CIMA contact ID and ask them to look into your data migration, and they will then fix it. You can potentially see the phone number in the chat, I hope. Okay, if you're a new student and you've never registered with CIMA before, you obviously won't have migration problems, but you will experience a different problem. You will see that your qualification or your college or your university or IBTC as a college might not show up in the drop-down. It isn't listed on the website, and that's okay. CIMA is slowly building up their database, but what you need to do is then contact IBTC. And we have a way of sending your qualification onto CIMA, and they will then upload that qualification and the institute. Say you've got something through, say UNISA isn't there and you've got an advanced diploma in financial analysis, then they will add that qualification to their database for the next student. Okay, so next we're going to look at how to register. Now, before you register with CIMA, you first need to sign up as a user on the CIMA website. So I say there are two steps. First, you must be a user on the website. It's kind of like creating a profile, and it's very common nowadays for websites. And once you've created that profile or signed up as a user, then you can go and register with CIMA. I think, Vanessa, maybe you can talk us through the process for registering onto the website as a user. And
yes, of course. Good evening, everyone. So the first thing that you need to do is enter the URL cimaglobal.com. On the top left-hand side, you enter the URL. And once you've entered the URL, you will see that you are taken straight away to the AICPA-CIMA.com website. So you need to be on this website, and once you're on this website, you need to click on register. Once you've registered, you need to then click on register. You need to fill in your personal details and location. You will then be asked if you are a CPA. This is an American requirement. You can just select no. You then ask what type of information you would like to receive. you can tick the boxes or untick the boxes. You then ask what type of information you'd like to see. And the first one is the topics that you may be interested in. You need to select topics that matches your career interest. Don't get stuck on this too long, as you can always come back later and change it. So select the 3 industries, and then you're going to go to select industries. Here you do the same thing, and then lastly, you're going to go through to select skills. Under select skills, it works a little bit differently. You need to select 3 skills, and under each skill, you need to select subtopics. I'll select digital, then select up to 3 subtopics and save changes. Do the same for people, any 3. And then the last one I've selected, technical. Select any 3, save changes, and submit. You have now created a profile. My suggestion is to immediately update your profile, as this will save you time later on when you apply for exemptions. You can go to personal details and add your date of birth and other information. Gender and
adding it here
ethnicity
now,
is
Vanessa.
optional. Yeah, gender and ethnicity is optional. Under add a CPA license, you can ignore this, as again, this is an American requirement. Now here you will see your AICPA number. Older students will be used to the CIMA contact ID, but this is now being replaced by the AICPA account number. This is a very important number and will be used throughout your studies. Save any changes that you make. Next, you're going to check your contact details and select save. Make sure that all your contact details are there. Lastly, your employment details. Select whether you're currently working or not, then add an employer. In this example, I have put a finance manager. And under finance, under business name, I would put in a new. If you can't find your employer, you can create one. And then put in your address, etc., and save.
Vanessa, this of course helps you later when you want to then book or become a member, because that information then pulls through, right?
Absolutely. So you have now updated your profile.
Okay, so you can see your name there at the top. Okay, so I just want to show here, Vanessa, when you can see your name there at the top, you can see you have a profile and your profile's been updated. Okay, so this is the first step, right? This is the first step for creating a profile on the CIMA website. You are not yet registered as a student. Cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to show you how to register as a student. When you register as a student, part of that process is that you will also be, let's say, applying for exemptions. But actually what you are doing when you're registering as a student, you will say, this is my experience, this is my qualification, and you don't actively have to apply for exemption, I believe, unless you leave those spaces open. But if you complete everything, then automatically it will place you somewhere, which inadvertently means you've now been awarded exemptions. Okay, so for those of you who hear this for the first time, great, it won't be new to you. If there's anybody here who knows how the previous system worked, you will notice that exemptions have changed. So exemptions are now awarded based on 3 criteria. Okay, let me just see if I can grab a love a little bit of writing. Okay, so this 1, 2, and 3, based on 3 criteria. One is your professional qualification. It's where you apply for exemption based on your membership with CIPA or CICA or ACCA or ICB. Okay, then exemptions are based on your educational qualification. It's where you apply for your exemptions based on your diploma or your degree. For instance, you've got a BCom or a BComt. Okay, when you, for example, have a BCom or a BCom degree in a non-finance BCom degree, and it's more than 7 years old, you will start at certificate level. Okay, if you, sorry, I am confusing myself so much. Hang on 1 second. Vanessa, a BCom, non-finance BCom starts you at operations level, but if
Correct.
it is more than 7 years old, you drop a level and you have to start at certificate level.
Correct.
Okay, BComt, you will, and it's a BComt in finance and accounting, you will start at management level, but if it's more than 7 years ago, you will drop down to operations level. But
Correct.
a great new addition is that if you've got 4 or more years experience in finance and accounting, then they bump you back up again. Okay, so for example, if you hold what we call a plain BCom that's older than 7 years, you will start on the certificate level. But as I said earlier, if you have 4 more years experience in accounting and finance, they'll bump you up to operations level. If you have a BCom in accounting and finance that's older than 7 years, you will then start at operations level, unless you have 4 or more years accounting and finance experience, in which case you will be bumped up back to management level. Okay. Note that your qualification will give you the same starting point, so the same exemptions, whether you choose the PQ route or the FLP route, which hopefully makes sense to all of you if you were in Saturday's session. Okay, so the third way to apply for exemption is based on your experience and your role. Here you get exemption based on your level at the company and your experience in finance and accounting. It's called the elite program, and it's the expedited way based on your level of experience. Okay, so if you can go onto the elite academic program if you have a PhD and I think 6 years of teaching experience. Okay, then you only have to do the strategic case study. Okay, you can go onto the senior executive elite program. If you're a senior manager with 6 or more years experience in accounting, finance, and business, then you will start at the management case study and then do the rest. Okay, and if you can go the CFO elite program, if you a CFO or a CEO or executive with 10 or more years experience in accounting, finance, and business, then you only have to complete the strategic case study, same as the elite program. Okay. Clear everything. It's very important to be honest and accurate when completing your exemption information, as you may be subject to an audit, and then CIMA could ban you for life if you said you've got so much experience or this is your qualification. You don't need to submit your qualifications, but when they audit you, you need to be able to submit it. Okay, so Vanessa, I think it would be nice if you could now show us how to register now that we have a profile. How to register? Let me just get rid of this. Click the right mouse. Here we go. Here we go. Okay.
So on the home screen on the right-hand side, you will see under trending, you'll see number 4 to select your journey to the CGMA designation. So if you press that, and then you can begin your application. The first thing that you will be asked is, do you have a registration code from a sponsoring organization? If you are studying the FLP route, it assumes that you've already purchased FLP from us, and this is where you put in your FLP subscription number you got from the college. If you are studying the PQ or the traditional route, you can leave this blank and just click Let's Get Started. You are now on the self-tailored learning pathway. This is the PQ route or the traditional route. Select Let's Get Started. it will first ask you, have you got any professional qualifications? If you are a member of CIPA, ACCA, CICA, ICB, then say yes. Have you passed your USCPA exam? Again, select no. For example, select CIPA. Under the name of the qualification, select members. Select the year in which you qualified and your membership number, which is on your certificate. Press submit. And the next requirement is to complete your educational qualification. Select your institution. In this case, I've selected UNISA.
And this is an instance where your information might not be on that drop down. Then you need to contact us so that we can send it on to CIMA to add it in the drop down, right?
Correct. So
Okay,
in this
I went
example, I've chosen National Diploma, Cost and Management with year 22. And then next, you are going to be asked about your professional management and accounting experience. So I've elected 3 years.
What is that? 3 years for professional experience in finance and accounting. So job experience, if you like.
Correct.
Cool. And then?
The next step is going to ask you for your academic experience. This is only for lecturers and tutors. If you have no lecturing experience, leave it blank and then select next.
Oh, that threw me so much, Vanessa. I never knew what that meant.
You will now see the level at which you will start. In this example, you can see you will start at the management level. If you are happy with this, you can keep your current entry point. Here, CIMA is trying to sell you their tuition programs. Our best advice is to rather study with an accredited tuition provider like ourselves, as the professional bodies are really curriculum and membership experts. Tuition providers like ourselves are better equipped to prepare you for the exam, so you can just skip this step. Here you get a summary of your selections. Just check that it's all correct. If you are happy with this, click on Apply Now. You are now in the cart. In your basket, you will see that your membership enrollment fee has been added, as well as an E2 exam fee. CIMA automatically adds an exam fee for one subject. It will be an E subject or a BA1 to encourage you to write the exam. This exam voucher is valid for a year. The usual starting point for any level is the BA1 or the E subject. If you don't want to start with the enterprise exam, you will have to purchase an additional exam token for your chosen subject. Note that all exam tokens are valid for 1 year. Check your basket to see nothing else has accidentally been added. Next, you will check all your personal information, which will now pull through because you have updated your profile when you created it. Confirm your current employment details. Then it will ask if you've chosen to study with a tuition provider. Here you should select IBTC. Then you're going to upload your supporting documents, which is your qualification certificate and transcripts. Next is the attestation. This is a very important step. It is a declaration that all the information you've entered is correct and that you don't have a criminal record and you've gone through all CIMA's terms and conditions and the code of ethics. Once you've read through this carefully, you can tick all the boxes and confirm and continue. The last phase is to enter your credit card details. If you don't have a credit card or your company is paying or you wish to EFT, you can make payment to IBTC and we will pay over your funds. It's a lot cheaper to do it directly with CIMA though, as we have to charge VAT. Once you've paid or you've paid on your behalf, you will get an automated confirmation of your membership and starting point. Now you can go ahead and start your studies. Sign up with a good tuition provider, start planning your studies, and hit the books.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. Tell me, how long did it take you to figure this out? How many back and forth with CIMA to say, what does this mean? What does that mean? What must we put in here? What to work out? What combination? If you've put so many, if we were probably the first to figure out if you put your qualification and why does it sometimes put you at management level and sometimes at certificate level or at operations level, and then we figured out the 7-year thing, and then we realized, oh, but if you've got more experience in this, and it was actually just how long did it take you, Vanessa, to
weeks and weeks to figure this out. I think there's 26 steps to get qualified, and I joke by the time you've actually applied for exemptions, they might update the syllabus.
Yes. Fantastic. Okay, so we wanted to, it's a short session tonight. We just wanted to show you how it works because it is quite a tricky step, but we used to have, and we still have, a free CIMA Assist program where we can do most of this for you. We can do it with you. I quite like the idea of setting up a Zoom session like this one, and you can share your screen and we can talk you through it. So we've got sales consultants, we've got Vanessa, we've got myself. We're all happy to help you through this because we're going through a bit of a change. Okay, so then just to refresh, you are today in the Monday how to register and apply for exemptions session. Tomorrow is for existing students to say on that website, how do you go and book an exam on the new website, and where do you find the resources that you used to be able to find? Maybe the blueprints and things like that. If you don't know what to do with the blueprint, you must be sure to follow us, because we always have these interesting, helpful sessions on ways to help you with your studies, if you like, or to tell you how CIMA works or how the exam works and things like that. Okay, Tuesday for existing students, how to log on, navigate, book an exam, and access useful resources. And then on Wednesday, we have a practical experience requirement, a PER session. How does PER work under the new system, if you like? So Vanessa, if I am starting CIMA for the first time, do I need to come to that Wednesday session? I think I'll come because I don't want to miss out on anything, but would you advise me to come?
No, Nikki. You can only start your PR process once you pass your management case study. I strongly recommend that students at lower levels just forget about this for now and just focus on passing your OTs and case study exams. We have these sessions all the time, and when the time is right, i.e. when you pass your management case study, by all means join us.
Okay. Fantastic. So I want to just see if there's, thank you so much for the session. I would love to, I don't have eyes on the chat. I wonder if people are chatting.
I have got a lot of eyes. Yeah, I've got a lot of eyes on the chat.
You have a lot of eyes. I have a lot of eyes. Okay.
Sorry, I just want to jump in there. I did ask, I don't know if you've seen my DM, but we had somebody ask, what is the difference between FLP and PQ? And I think that might be quite a nice thing to discuss. I know we spoke about it on Saturday, but just in case.
Yes, let me just see if I can.
Yeah, so Nikki, while you look for that presentation, I just wanted to let everyone know that you might have noticed the CIMA website is down at the moment. They did a big migration over the weekend. It should be up at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So unfortunately, I can't send you any links because it's just going to take you through to the website saying under construction. However, as Nikki said earlier, if you'd like to book individual Zoom or team meetings, or even for us to call you, please email info@ivtc.co.za, and then we can set up individual sessions with you, and you can share your screen and we can take you through it and see what exemptions you are likely to get. So I also saw in the chat there's some questions around if I've got an MBA. If you've got a plain MBA where you didn't specialize in finance, you'll probably start on the operational level. And again, it depends when you qualified. Any sort of BCom with finance or BCom accounting, if it's within 7 years that you qualified, you're likely to start on the management level. But as I said, please email on info and we definitely can set up individual sessions.
Okay, so, okay, let me see.
I just see someone's just said MBA specializing in finance. That will be likely at the management level.
Okay, so there are two routes. There's the PQ route or the traditional route, if you like, and then there is the new FLP route. Okay, PQ stands for professional qualifications. The traditional route, the PQ route, is flexible and you can do it at your own pace. You work through 13 subjects. There's 3, 6, 9, and then these 4 is 13 subjects. You study a subject, you write an exam. We used to call it an OT or objective test exam. It's a little bit like a multiple choice. You study, 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 write an OT exam, study, 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 write an OT exam. If you're exempted from all of this, then fantastic. But then you'll still study, study, study E1. Maybe you come to IBTC for classes, or you have a book, or you do home study, but you will write an OT subject. Sorry, I've just got a very bad color here. Let me just fix that. You will write an OT subject for each of these, E1, P1. If when you've completed your exam, and the exams are on demand and they're at Pearson View Center, when you've passed EP and F, then you can enter for your case study exam. The case study exam draws heavily on your EP and F subject. In fact, at operational level, I think it's 67% of it draws on that content that you must know. As you get higher on the case studies, the higher and higher you go, the less it asks you for academic knowledge. What you can remember is just really asking you for application. But the key is here that your case study, your success in your case study depends heavily on how well you know your EP and F. Okay. So further to the PQ is, say you've been exempted and you can start with E1 and P1 and you say, I want to take 2 subjects in semester 2, or I just want to study E1. You can buy a piece, you can study, you can write the exam. You can buy another subject, write an exam. You can buy another subject, so you can buy it piecemeal. Okay. So what else? Can I tell you about this? What else I can tell you about this is, so how do you prepare for your E1 exam, for instance? So you've got various options. You can come to IBTC's virtual classes. It's 1 day a week. It's very similar to what we're doing now, and your lecturer and your classmates go through the content, the course material, and do question practice and things like that. Included in this is also pre-recorded video lectures from the BPP, who's from the UK and have a very high pass rate. Their best lecturers, their classes are recorded. And we have the exclusive license to include that in our course. So you get to come to our Zoom classes and you get to view the lectures with 100% syllabus coverage of the UK lecturer. Okay, so that's our virtual classes. Then you can also buy our online classes, our online course. It's an online course. We've got one starting every week, takes you about, you'll be exam ready in 6 to 8 weeks. It includes virtual books, our virtual classes as well. It includes hardcover books, because we know you like to underline and highlight. But this is, you can, you follow a very fast-paced program with a cohort of students from across the globe and a tutor that looks after you. Whereas this one, the virtual class, is a little bit slower. You come to 1 class a week and it takes you about 12 weeks to get exam ready. 12 weeks, this is 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, and then our third option is Home Study Plus. And Home Study Plus is where we still send you the books, but then, and we give you a tutor and we give you question practice. And we thought, shame, don't you also want to watch the video? So we're now also throwing in those video recordings of the lecturers in the UK. So I think this is quite good value for money. Whereas my virtual classes I quite like, because it is like having a personal coach, and you have to come to class, there's somebody rooting for you, it's a lot of engagement. Okay, so this is, how nice is this? These are all the options you can study. So if you feel you have a good grasp of that, then I'm going to clear the screen and tell you how FLP works. First, yeah.
Nikki, sorry, Colene's just said, please explain about FLP buying in bits and pieces. Please explain option 2 in the chat. Sorry, did you say FLP was option 1 or PQ was option 1?
No, PQ is option 1, but option 2 was online courses. I can study virtual classes, I can study online course, or I can do a home study class.
Okay, I think Colene has missed the explanation of FLP.
Okay, I'm coming to it.
Sorry, my bad.
No worries, no worries. Okay, PQ, one subject at a time, and you write an exam for every subject. Fantastic. FLP is the Americans, when AICPA and CIMA came together, the Americans said, you do what? You make the people write how many tests? No, the Americans are never going to fall for that. No, they didn't want that. So they said, you know what? We only like these tests. We only like these exams. So they said, we don't have to write exams for your EP and F. So at first it sounds fantastic, but an exam is to show your competence. So they're saying, no, they'll find a different way for you to show your competence. So they're saying, there's a platform which you can go onto, and all this material is there. It's a room filled with books and your course content, and you buy time onto that platform. When you get onto this platform and you want to study E1, you start studying E1, you go through the material, you study, answer a question, study, answer a question, study, answer a question, study. So you go through that material and do continuous assessment in lieu of a test, in lieu of an exam. Okay, so you're done with it. Great, now do P1. You're still in this room with all the books, and you study, do a question, study, do a question, study. As you're studying, your questions are interspersed. When you completed your module, you are now deemed competent for that subject. And you do the same on F1 until you're competent. When you have completed E1, P1, and F1 content and questions on this platform, you are deemed competent, and you can then start preparing for your case study, for which the materials also here on this platform. And from here, you can then go to the Pearson VUE exam and write your case study exam. The case study exam is written, the same case study, by the PQ students and by the FLP students. Okay, so the long and the short of it, if I can just select a different color, the long and the short of it, FLP, only 3 exams. Yes, fantastic. But you have to do it on the CIMA FLP platform, to which you buy time, which is called a subscription. Okay, so you buy 1 year. It costs quite a bag of money. It costs, oh, this is a bag with money. Okay, a bag of money. You buy time. When you're in here, you can go through these subjects as fast as you can. You can just go for it until your time is up. Okay, some students can complete everything in 2 years, which makes this bag of money quite affordable. Some can complete everything in 1 year. Some can only have this bit to go, and they think they can do it in a year, and then they're wrong because they couldn't hit the books as hard as they could, and then they have to buy another year. Generally, our rule of thumb is, if you're in a space in your life where you say, I can dedicate the next year to working this and making the most of my subscription, like a gym. You say, I'm going to the gym, I'm buying a subscription to the gym, but I can go every day. I can go. You can go 7 days a week, you can go 5 days a week. But if you're like, oh, my life isn't really like that, I can maybe come to class 1 day a week and then study a little bit, I've got month end, I've got children, I've got this and that, then you're probably not going to be able to make the most of your subscription. But the long and the short of it, the one has got how many exams? 13 exams. 16 exams, and the other one, that's not an exam, it's continued. The other one has got 3 exams. Is that clear? Did I explain it well? Can't see the chat. Let me just get to the chats again. Anything else? Yeah.
I think you've covered most in the chat. I think there was also a question around all the different costs of all the classes. You know, please just email info@ibtc, and then we'll take you through all the different classes and the prices per level. We'll do that with pleasure.
Cool. I see somebody asked a very good question. T. Kwale. Oh, Vanessa answered. Can you change from PQ to FLP? A short while ago, you couldn't. Then they said, no, you can go to FLP, but if you've completed your P1 on FLP and you've ticked, you've deemed competence, and you go back to PQ, they're not going to recognize that you must sit that exam. But not anymore. You can now seamlessly go to FLP, you don't like it, you get stuck at the case study, you come back. If you've done E1, P1, F1 on FLP, you've completed those competencies, you don't have to sit those exams again on PQ.
There's another good question in the chat, Nikki.
Yeah.
Is PQ more affordable than FLP? That's a very good question.
Vanessa, you have to help me because,
yeah.
You know,
so,
I can't.
No, it's fine. So if you're starting on the operational level and you are going the traditional route and you are hopefully going to study with us, if you look at the costs of studying with a tuition provider with all your exam fees, and assuming you pass everything once the first time, you're looking at a cost of roughly 40 to 45,000 per level. So that would cost you 3 times 45 is, what's that, 135,000 to complete your studies. If you take out a 2-year subscription on FLP, it'll cost you 110,000. So FLP in the long term is cheaper than the traditional route, but for FLP you have to pay upfront, whereas the traditional route you can pay as you go, but long term it's more expensive than FLP.
Great, thank you very much. I wanted to write that down, but for some other reason I have lost my annotator. May mean it's time to go.
Here's another really good question.
Yes.
Nikki, what is the pass rate through IBTC over the last 2 years in general?
Anita, that is a very good question. I have various answers to it. I've got Charissa with me who has a personal investment in that pass rate. So our overall college pass rate, which we measure every week, the whole company is aligned behind us producing passes, because we know that is our singular promise to you. And our company across all our products, our pass rate is 70%. Compare that to a UNISA pass rate of between 3 and 5% and a global pass rate. Oh, I've got those slides here. Wait.
Yes, I actually just let you know our pass rate for the current year is 71%, but we've been on average 70% over the last 2 years.
But our case study classes? That's massive. That is between 100 and 90%. So we love case study. We are really good at it.
Case study on average is 85%.
And then, yeah, you can see we love BPP because when we were as a college trying to figure out what can we give the South African market, if you're going to study a global qualification, you want access to global resources. You can't deal with like South African resources and then you want to go and write a global exam. So we went got on a plane and went to go see all these colleges overseas that are producing the best CIMA results. And we wanted to see who consistently produces the best results and who's got a bit of a cultural alignment with us and who we can partner with. So we loved what BBP is doing. We loved their pedagogy. We loved their how they embrace technology and their approach to business and their approach to students. We like their values. So it took us 2.5 years to negotiate an exclusive license with them to say, that stuff that you're doing in your classroom, we want to be doing it in our classroom. Those books that your lecturers are, those notes that they're doing, we want those notes. Those slides, we want those slides. Then eventually they developed online classes and we said, great, we can't in South Africa do such an investment to develop online classes. So can we have the exclusive license for your online courses? Because that way you can have global content for a global exam. So with BPP, the BPP pass rates and why we chose them is generally around 20% higher than the CIMA average pass rate. So BPP is everybody studying with using BPP material that includes IPTC students, and the CIMA pass rate is just how people generally perform on the exam. So you can see P1 is usually quite a tricky subject, and that's on CIMA got 45% pass rate, we got 65%. You can see BA2, CIMA got 59%, we got 80%. If you look at bottom right at strategic case study, we got 92% pass rate, and the CIMA global pass rate was only 62%. And also with management case study, you can see we love our case studies. Operations case study, 85% compared to 58%. So I hope that answers your question. Then I know CIMA and CICA recently signed an agreement. What are the stats of CGMAs passing CICA Part 2 board exam? I don't know what the stats are for them passing CICA. I do know how the CICA students perform on CGMA and what their biggest challenges are and what we need to do with a CICA student to get them to pass first time. But I don't have insight into how the CICA pass rates. So I'm wondering if anybody missed the session on Saturday and if there's any information about the courses or why to study with IPTC or how to study with IPTC, anything. You're open to ask any questions. We've got about 10 minutes left.
Nikki, there's a good question from Simpewe. How can you move from FLP to CICA? So Simpewe, whether you complete your CGMA through the FLP route or the traditional route, once you have qualified and have your PER, your practical experience requirements, you can then move over to CICA and just complete the final board exam. So it doesn't matter whether you did FLP or PQ.
Yes. FLP is just a route to getting your CGMA, and PQ is just a route to getting your CGMA. It's a study, it's picking a study method, if you like. Okay. Anybody, now is a very good time of the year to get started with your CIMA studies. There are two natural start times usually. It's the beginning of the year when everybody wakes up and thinks, oh, this year I want a better life. And then typically there's a surge in enrollment in the middle of the year. In the middle of the year is now a good time for PQ because our second semester classes are starting. It's a good time to try 1 or 2 subjects and to get going on that. And it's also a very good time for FLP because with the FLP subscription, if you take a 1-year subscription and you take your timing is wrong, you took it in, you started in February and then it ends again in next year in January, then you find yourself, you are studying, but the exam that you want to attend is this February exam and you see, oh, cook, what did I do now? It falls just outside my subscription period. This is where the exam is, but this is where my subscription period ends. So if you start in June then you will always have your May exam before your subscription period ends. So it's now is a good time. Now in December are good times to start your FLP. Great. Any final comments? Did you enjoy the session? It's the first time we're doing this. Obviously, this is a new website and we're trying to share what we know. And I'm wondering if it hit the spot. Did you think, oh, this was like a waste of my time? Or did you think, oh, yeah, thanks. Oh, thank you, Winnie. Anybody else can tell us? We can take it. You can tell us if you thought it was not up to scratch or you thought it was. Thank you for figuring it out because it looks very tricky. Okay, very informative. Oh, thank you very much. Extremely. Yay. Basically, now is the perfect time to register for the FLP program. Yes. Having said that, yes, totally. The problems with CIMA, when I started, I spoke about user experience. But CIMA obviously has a little bit of, thank you very much, informative, excellent session, thank you. CIMA has a bit of problems that they can't really at this point register FLP students from South Africa, but we have a bit of a workaround. So if you want to register for FLP now, then be sure to contact us. Thank you for the positive feedback. We try our best to give you the information when you need it. And one last thing is when you're a student or not a student, you can study on your own or study with another college, it doesn't matter. We have an open mic session, open speak to us session every Tuesday at 4 and every Thursday at 6. Sometimes there's a lecturer, sometimes there's somebody from operations, sometimes there's other students, sometimes we have a guest speaker or somebody from the UK. Around case study time, we tend to have our case study lecturers and then they will share some insights and everybody is free to join. We just have one mission and that is to give South Africa more chartered management accountants. And it's not inconsequential with whom you study, we will always help you. BBP subscription is a 12-month period from the day you activate it. So you can buy it now and say, actually, but I'll pay for it now, but just hang on. I would totally do some pre-studying. So, and I'll say, just activate my subscription in August or in December, and I'll pre-study a little bit so that when that subscription opens up, I can race through everything and finish all my exams in a year. I don't know if that's possible with children. Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. Yes, thank you very much. It was nice. I'm going to end the sessions. We can all go and have some dinner. IBTC is always here. You can mail us, you can phone us, you can come and visit us. And I would like to think we have all or most of the questions.
Nikki, can I end off with a joke?
Oh, Mahat, you have a joke?
Yes.
Yes, I forgot we have a joke.
How many accountants does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I don't know, 3?
How many did it take last year?
Hello. Okay, whatever it took last year plus 10%. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for. Oh, I see Lynette is dying with laughter. Love. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for joining and have a good evening. Hello, Victor. Can you hear me? Hello, Victor. Can you hear me? Victor, the session has ended, but I'm keen to hear how I can help you. Victor, if you can go into the chat, you can go to the three buttons where it says more. You can click on that, open the chat function, and you can write to me, or you can unmute and chat to me. Hi, Victor, can you hear and see me? Can you unmute or let me know how I can help you in the chat? Okay, I think maybe you can join us for tomorrow's session or call IBTC in the morning and we can then chat to you. Our number is 0861 111 411. And otherwise, you can email us at info@ibtc.co.za. We can send you a link to the recording. It shows you how to sign up as a user on the IBTC website and then how to register on the IBTC website. Unfortunately, I cannot see or hear you. Oh, hello, sorry about the sounds. Okay, that's fine. Oh, wait, but there's another person. Info, wait, Victor. I don't know what's going on. Victor, how can I help you? Tell me. I'm here. I can help you. Okay, we're waiting for Benoni to come online. Victor, can you write to me? Is there anything? Hi, Benoni. The session has ended at 7 o'clock. It was 6 to 7, but if you want to tell me how I can help you, I'm happy to stay on a little bit. I want to find out about exemptions. Great, Victor. Tell me, I can tell you how exemptions work. Tell me, what qualification do you have? Tell me, Victor, can you tell me about exemptions? I can tell you about exemptions. You can get exempted because you have a professional qualification or you've done accounting technician diploma. Whom did you do it with? Did you do it with ICB? Okay, I don't know if Vanessa is here. Vanessa, do you know what exemption Victor can expect with?
I'm here. Hi, Victor. The National Institute of Public Administration here in Zambia. Victor, I'm not quite sure if you will get any exemptions. I unfortunately can't look on the website now because they closed for, they're doing a whole migration, but it'll be up and running tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So do you want to just email me your contact details and I'll look on the site tomorrow and tell you what exemptions you may possibly get. If your institute is not on the website, we do have a contact at CIMA where we can find out for you.
Yes, it's probably the fastest if you contact us and we can find out from CIMA what exemptions you will get. Banani, is there anything we can help you with? Banani, I don't know if you can hear me. Our session today, and I've got Jabulile. I'm so happy you guys Jabulile, welcome. I'm happy you can join. I wonder if you all struggled with load shedding and all you wanted to know was how to enroll for CIMA. Do you, we can totally send you the recording. If you send us your name, phone number, and email address, we can send you the recording for tonight. And what we can also do is we can always set up a Zoom session with you to show you. We then screen share and we show you, we're with you when you register. You say, but what do I need to complete here? And Vanessa, what do I need to complete there? So we can totally do, we can help you register with CIMA in a Zoom session so you can share your screen. Okay, so you contact info@ibtc.co, ibtc.co.za. 861 111 411. So Jabulile, how can I help you today? Did you just have load shedding, or what questions do you have for me? You are on mute and I don't know. Oh, did somebody show you how to unmute?
Oh,
Yes.
hi, sorry, just joined.
No
Sorry,
worries.
yes. I'm interested in studying, joining the CIMA program. And I
Yes.
saw that IPCTC, was also helping on how to register, just to tell me more about it. And I also saw the prices on the modules, because when I did contact CIMA directly, but their prices were
Yes.
in pounds and I was a bit confused. So when I saw your webinar, I was interested and then I joined. So I just want to know more on how, because I did go to college, but I got a national diploma. Then afterwards, I studied with UNISA, did a long distance in a bachelor's in business administration. I passed a few modules, I think under 3 or 4, if not mistaken. So I know that when you join CIMA, you have to send all of those, whatever background I have, and to see if I should start from the beginning or
Yes.
to
So
be credited.
the one important thing to know is that CIMA doesn't recognize past qualifications.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the one thing. So then you said, apart from that, you've got a national certificate
Yes.
in
yes.
business administration. Okay, who did you
Yes.
get your national certificate with?
With MSc College. It's
Okay.
Yes, MSc College in South Africa, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So I think the best thing is to your national certificate. Did you do any accounting or finance in that certificate?
Yes, I did. And I was also
Okay.
doing it with a bachelor's, the business administration bachelor's degree.
Yes, but you
Yes,
didn't
I
complete
did.
that, did you?
Yeah, no, I didn't
Oh,
complete it.
okay. Okay. So I think what we will have to do is to ask CIMA what they recommend for exemption for the national certificate, the qualification. You got it with MSc?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
I am just making a note, national certificate in business administration
Yes.
through MSc. Okay. Do you okay. So let me just think what the best way is to carry on. The one thing is, I think you must email us and see if you can send us this transcript and the certificate. And then we
Okay.
can find out about the exemptions. And then
Yes.
after that, we will need to do a session with you to show you how to apply, how to register, how to sign up
Yes.
for on the CIMA website, how to register with CIMA, and how to
Yes.
complete all those questions so that you can get the most exemptions that you can.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
appreciate that. And
So-
what about the work experience, or where I'll be currently working? Does that also count? Because I saw something like that on the email they sent me from CIMA.
Yes, all your work experience counts, but it makes the most sense if you don't worry about it too much now and you only start worrying about it once you get to management level.